Good morning, folks. I am Gary, Fishy Gary. Guess what we're going to be talking about today? Yes, it is fish. I'm going to tell you a little bit about fishing today. Everybody loves to fish, right? And we got a beautiful lake right out here, Moreau Lake State Park. And there's lots of fish in it, all kinds of fish. We have everything from rainbow trout to smallmouth bass to bluegills to largemouth bass, which we will be filleting today, showing you how to fillet some of these fish today. And this is a sunfish over here, a pumpkin seed, okay? So those are some of the fish that are in the lake. We got nice clean water in the lake. It's 50 foot deep out in the middle, and it's really cold down there. It's where our rainbow trout like to stay. We have this lake stocked every spring with usually 5,000 trout, and the fishermen love here to come here and catch trout and bass and all kinds of fish. And all the kids like to catch them too. And this fishing is for everybody. This is a sport that everybody can enjoy. And they're a lot of fun to catch. A lot of people will catch and release fish. And I don't always agree with catching and release, but if you can do it safely without harming the fish, it doesn't do any harm. But a lot of times they'll get the fish swallowing the hook, it does damage to them, they let them go and they die. And I don't like to see that. So catch and keep is a good thing too. When you're fishing, you go out and have a good time. Everybody loves to get a fish on the end of the hook and they fight like crazy. They have a good time, the kids love it, great time. And now we got the fish in the boat, and now what are we going to do when we get home? We're going to have to know how to clean these fish and prepare them for the table. They're very good to eat. They're one of the best things you can have in your food chain to eat fish. And they're good to clean out of this lake, and they catch a lot of them out of here. And if you know how to prepare them right, which is an easy way of doing it, I'm going to show you today how to fillet fish. I'm going to show you how to fillet panfish. I'm going to show you how to fillet bass. And if you can do panfish, small ones, and you can do anything, perch, bluegills, sunfish, strawberry bass, smallmouth bass, trout, pickerel, pike, anything like that. And today we're going to be talking about fish, of course. And I'm going to show you how to fillet them right here. We got a fillet board here on the table. This is a little more elaborate than you need. I have another fillet board that what you would probably buy at a sporting goods store. This is one I made myself, but you can buy them just like this in a sporting goods store, and they're probably $5 or $6 for a board. The main thing here is a clamp. That holds the fish right in place. You put the fish head in there and clamp it and hold them in place. You don't slide all over when you're trying to cut them. And fish have to be dead when you go to clean them. You make sure they're expired before you go clean the fish, because you don't want that fish suffer any more than he has to. And they're very good to eat. And there's a way you can take care of these fish when you're out there fishing. You catch a bunch of fish, you got a cooler, you can put them in a cooler and let them stay in there for probably the length of time you're fishing. They'll be dead by the time you come back. If not, you can't do that. They have a little baseball bat, a little club. You whack him around the head a couple times and he's out. That's the end of it. And then you can clean the fish. Okay, that's so much for the fillet board. All right, I guess we're starting to go. It's good to have a good sharp fillet knife, okay? A good sharp fillet knife. And the way you keep that sharp is a good knife sharpener right here. All right. Bring it through the coarse blade first, then the medium, 4 or 5 strokes on each one. On the real fine, now you got a real sharp edge on your knife. That's good. That'll take care of your fish for you. Now, I told you we had smallmouth bass and all that, and we have the bluegill. Now you notice on this fish, he has fins, all kinds of fins. This one on top is a dorsal fin. These are very important when you clean a fish, because these are the guides you use when you take your knife down and fillet them. Dorsal fin, this is the caudal fin on the tail end. The tail, they call it caudal fin. These are the anal fins down here. And this fin on the side is the pectoral fin. Those fins are all guides for your fillet knife when you're cutting. I'll show you how to do it on the table. These are the panfish. You can do this with perch, sunfish, or bluegills. All right. That's that. And your bass is just bigger scale. I'm going to be doing these today too. Largemouth bass. He has a longer lip in the front, his eyes back a little bit farther, and he's kind of light on the sides. Largemouth bass. We have lots of them in here. These fish I'm filleting today, I caught right out of this lake. So they're going to be very good to eat, and we're going to have a fish dinner when we get done with it someday. Okay, that's a little bit about the fish. Now I'm going to get a fish out on the board, going to fillet him, show you how to do it. Okay. Let's see. Okay, we're going to start off with a panfish, a bluegill right here, little bluegill. All right. Now you can take these fish home and freeze them. These fish have been frozen. You can freeze them up to half a year or something like that. They're good just like that, as long as they stay frozen. Bring them out and you can fillet them at any time you want them that way. Otherwise, you fillet them just as soon as you get home. That's the way a lot of people do it. But now you take the fish. Like I say, he has a dorsal fin right here, and that's going to be my guide. You go right down along that, all the way to the tail, and take a slab right off. Dorsal fin. Down here you have the anal fins down here again, and the pectoral fins. I'll lay him flat. I'll put that head right in the clamp. Get my pan out of the way. All right. I get my knife. Now under the pectoral fin, you put your knife under the pectoral fin behind the gill plate. This is the gill plate. There's a backbone that goes right down through the middle. And I take my knife and cut down to that backbone, and I'll turn my knife, and I'll follow that dorsal fin down and the anal fin down, riding on the backbone all the way to the tail. And I will be cutting that fillet right off. I'll show you. At an angle like that, I hit the backbone and I stop, okay? Now what I can do, the rib cage is right there. I can either cut the whole thing off, which I'll do on this one. Notice I'm riding right on that dorsal fin and on the anal fin, right on the backbone, right down to the tail. I'm rubbing that backbone. My finger's right where it is, right on the backbone now. Okay, I go right there. Now you take that fillet and you flip it right off. There it is, boneless fillet, it will be. Okay, now I have a fork I use too. This holds the fish right in place. Now you see I cut right through the ribs there. You don't always have to do that. Next one I'll show you where you don't have to do it. But now I got to cut those ribs off. I put my fork behind the ribs, put my knife between that and go under the ribs and cut them right off. There, that goes right in the garbage can, right there, ribs. Now we got all flesh, fish flesh right here now on top of the skin. Now you don't want to eat the skin because that's got scales on it and that'll give you a muddy taste. So we want to get that fillet right off the skin. Take your knife flat on the board, follow it down with your fork, cut the fillet right off, and there it is, one fillet. Granted, it's not much, but these bluegill, sunfish, you can catch 50 of these a day. So if you have 2 or 3 hack jobs in the beginning, which you will have, you're not losing much, okay? But these are nice, tasty little morsels. My wife will show you later how to cook them, roll them, put the roll them in, cook them in, and they are delicious. And the bigger bass, you got bigger fillets. Now, if you want to trim this up, you can do that too. You take your knife, and any flesh you're worried about, a little bit of flesh here, you take those pieces right off. Put it right with that, and that's all bones right in there anyway. And now I'm going to turn them over and get fillet on the other side. Now this time I'll show you how to do it without cutting the ribs off. The ribs are right here, of course. Go under here again, the pectoral fin, down to the backbone on an angle under the gills. I hit it, I stop. Now what I'm going to do is bring my knife point up to here on top of the ribs. The ribs go right there. Follow this dorsal fin down. Now the point of my knife is going right where my finger is, right there. When I get past that, okay, now I'm not hitting the ribs anymore, okay? It's right about where that anal fin comes in. I stick my knife all the way through. Just like so. Then you cut it right off. Let's see here. You got skin around those ribs yet. Now you can see the ribs. The skin and the flesh right off the ribs. Leave it right on there. Pull it a little bit. You don't want the gills, you don't want the bones. Just want to cut that fillet right off right there. There's the other fillet. Now you got to cut it off again with the skin. Like I say, you got scales on that side. You don't want them because that gives you the muddy taste. Now I'm going to cut that fillet right off the skin. Hold it down. There's no bones here. I cut them off right on there. And there's the other boneless fillet right there. This goes in the garbage can. Dig a hole in your garden. You can make compost of it for your garden, good fertilizer. So then you take the flesh and you put it right in the pan like that. Granted, that's a little one, but if you got 50 of these things, you got a lot of fish there when you get done. Then you get into the bigger fish. I'll show you how to do one of those next. Now this all goes, this is all the waste right here. You got your gut, you got your ribs, you got your fins, dorsal fin, you got your anal fin, skin, everything's all in one package. You throw that all away, right in there. Yep, you can either feed your cat, or you can feed the raccoons, or anything you got in the neighborhood, skunks or anything like that. We don't want them, of course. But anyway, now we do a bass. Largemouth bass. Now here's a bigger fish. Largemouth bass. They have to be 12 inches to keep them. And these are 12, 13, 14, some of them. And he gets his name by his mouth. Largemouth bass. He can swallow bullfrogs. He can swallow dragonflies. He can swallow minnows. He can swallow perch. He can swallow a lot of things. And these get to be 5, 6, even up to 10 pounds some places. Okay, they get big. Very good to eat. My family eats them all the while. I caught these right out of this lake, Moreau Lake. They're great fish out here, great water they're in. Can't get any better. Again, on the bass, you got bigger ribs, so I'm not going to cut through the ribs. I'm going to cut down under, bring my knife off and go right down the rib cage. I'll show you. Okay, there it is. Now I'm down to the backbone. Now watch my finger. The point of my knife is going to be right under that finger. Follow the dorsal fin down. When I get past that rib cage, I'll go all the way down by that anal fin, all the way through it. See right down and feel the ribs yet? No, I'm not. See, it go all the way through right there. Now I'm on the backbone yet, so keep it flat. You're right around the backbone by the anal fin and the dorsal fin. All the way to the tail. And let's see if we can cut that right off right there if we want to. Now I'll peel this back, the ribs are in there. I got to take the point of my knife, hit them, skin right off, right around them. You can see the gut right there, we don't want that. And there's your boneless fillet right there. Perfect, boneless fillet. Now we got to cut it off the skin, right? That's one half of the bass. Now you hold it down with your fork again. Fork is a handy thing. A lot of people don't know about that fork. Keep your knife flat on that board and go right off, cut that fillet right off it, just like so. There it is, right there, perfect, okay? Practice makes perfect. Now, like I say, you're gonna have a few hack jobs to begin with, but once you got this down, you will never forget it. It gets better every time you do it. And practice makes perfect. So don't be afraid of it. Just take that fillet, put it right in the pan of water, and soak it good. Get them all together, and then we'll have a cookout someday. Now we turn them over and do the same thing on the other side. Pectoral fin under the gill, down to the backbone, on an angle. Good sharp knife. Okay, now I got to follow the dorsal fin down on the rib cage again. Can't see my fingers going, but I'll take it. Put my thumb down it so I don't feel those ribs anymore. Right about there it should be. Yeah, right about Right there, it's gonna go right through there. See my knife coming through on top of that anal fin and on the dorsal fin. You might have a little waist meat, but you won't have much. Then you gotta skin it off those ribs. You peel the flank back, the fillet back, just keep peeling it, cut it right off the ribs. There's a little crust of bone right on top of the ribs where they make the curve. You gotta cut through that. And you just skin it right off. Rubber gloves help a lot, keeps your fingers out of the mess. Okay, there's the other fillet right there, boneless fillet. Now you see the ribs, you see the backbone, you see the gut, the head, the tail, fins, parts you don't want to eat, right? All right. Now, there's the fillet right there, nice boneless fillet, all right? Right in the pan he goes, skin goes in there, and the carcass goes in there too. You see what's left, waste. That's it.